What's up, guys? Radio Geek here, and I wanted to do a little bit of show and tell. I recently picked up a few games, as I do, and I wanted to make a little video and talk about what I recently picked up. So let's get into it. First, I have Spider-Man and Venom Maximum Carnage for the Sega Genesis. This one immediately catches my eye because of the red cartridge, which is so cool. And I'm a Spider-Man fan as well. I haven't played Spider-Man 2 yet because I don't have a PS5, so I'm waiting for it to come to PC, but it looks pretty great. Anyway, let's talk about this one. This is a side-scrolling beat-em-up, which is one of my favorite genres, even though I'm not really very good at them. You play, obviously, as Spider-Man, who has to face off with everyday street thugs as well as lower-tier supervillains that Carnage has assembled to go after Spider-Man and Venom. Basic controls: jump, basic attack, and webs. Pressing a direction while also pressing the web button makes the web do different things, so you want to experiment and see all the cool stuff you can do. It can be a bit touchy, but it's not too bad once you get used to it. Once you get a few levels in, you can choose between Spider-Man and Venom as playable characters once you start each level. I've never been able to finish this game, but from what I've played, at least some of the time your choice will have an impact on which level you play. Aside from that, they both control and feel pretty much the same. I also like that even though there's only a handful of sprites to represent the basic enemies and there's just palette swaps in between, each one has a unique name that you can see when you're attacking them. It's something that's incredibly minor, but is a nice touch. Each level also has well-hidden secrets that give you things like extra lives and continues, which can greatly help, especially if you're like me and you just suck at games. And the soundtrack by Green Jelly is fantastic. This is a really good game, and I picked it up for a little over $20 loose. Following up on Maximum Carnage, we also have Spider-Man and Venom Separation Anxiety, also for the Sega Genesis. This is the sequel to Maximum Carnage, which I've never actually played, except for the little bit that I did play to record the footage for this video. This one has two-player co-op if you have a friend to go through the game with, and it has a password system. Not only that, but you can pick between Spider-Man and Venom from the very beginning of the game. It doesn't look like there are any level differences between the two. Maybe there are, I didn't get far. But it makes sense considering this one can be done with two players, so one person plays as Spider-Man, one person plays as Venom. And I feel like that was the intention, because as difficult as Maximum Carnage can be, I found myself having a harder time with this one, even though the controls in combat are pretty much exactly the same. The bad guys don't have unique names this time, but that's not really a big deal. I'd still pick this one up if you have the chance. This is another one that I got for just over $20 loose. Another Sega Genesis game on the list, X-Men. This is another one that I've never played except to record the footage for this video, but I did play X-Men 2 quite a bit, and I really enjoyed that one. This one only gives you 4 playable characters. You've got Gambit, Nightcrawler, Wolverine, and Cyclops. Gambit is my favorite, so I started with him. You start the game in the Danger Room, and really soon you'll find yourself in the Savage Land simulation. My least favorite place in any Marvel game. Every Savage Land level I've ever played in any Marvel game is always annoyingly difficult and really tedious. At least they're getting the bad parts out of the way first, I guess. Controls are simple enough: jump, basic attack, and superpower. Using your superpower drains your meter, so you have to watch how much you use it. Gambit can throw explosive cards, Nightcrawler has a cool teleport attack, Wolverine has his claws, and Cyclops has his laser eyes. Turns out when you die, you have to pick a different character and restart the level. And when every character dies, it's game over. Like that crappy TMNT game on the NES that nobody likes. I'll probably try and beat this over on my Twitch channel eventually, and even if I never do, this only cost me less than $10 loose. I picked up one Super Nintendo game recently. This is another red cartridge game. The SNES port of Doom. I don't know why I wanted this. I just did. This is not a good port. The frame rate is atrocious, the resolution is terrible, you can barely see zombies or imps on screen most of the time, controlling with the D-pad sucks. At least the L and R buttons serve as dedicated strafe buttons, but you can't turn and strafe at the same time, so No circle strafing and shooting the cyber demon until it dies. Another weird thing about this port, you have to finish it on ultraviolence. The Shores of Hell and Inferno are difficulty gated. I don't think any other port does this, but I might be wrong. Let me know in the comments down below. This is something that I do not enjoy when playing a game. I don't like the actual ending of the game being difficulty gated. I do not recommend this port unless you want to suffer. It's not the worst Doom port, but it's bad. I'm almost ashamed to say I paid a little over $40 for this loose. I also picked up a few cool games for the Xbox 360. The first one up is The Darkness. This is a first-person shooter based on a comic book of the same name by Top Cow. It's about a mafia hitman who gets betrayed by his adoptive uncle and at the same time develops these dark supernatural powers on his 21st birthday. You can use a combination of guns and your darkness powers to take out your enemies, and over the course of the game you get an idea of how you got these powers in the first place. Scattered throughout the game, you can find collectibles, and if you call the number on the collectible at an in-game payphone, not only do you get these fun little messages to listen to, but you'll also unlock issues of the comic book you can read, as well as concept art and other cool stuff. It's a really fun game with a really cool story, and Mike Patton does a fantastic job as the voice of the darkness. There is only one save file, so if someone else on your account wants to play, you're out of luck unless you have more than one storage device. You can pick it up on the Xbox 360 Marketplace before it gets shut down in July for $20, but I paid a little less than $15 for a physical copy with the manual. Next up for Xbox 360, I've got the Doom 3 BFG edition. I know the BFG edition was a pretty divisive edition of an already divisive game, but I like it for what it is. It is bundled with Doom 1 and Doom 2, and as far as I know, this was the first appearance of Doom 2's amazing expansion, No Rest for the Living. But I find it a little strange that you can't play Doom 1 or Doom 2 from the disc while you have this installed on your hard drive. That's weird to me. I don't get the reasoning behind that at all. And it's not like these are particularly great ports of those games anyway, but it's just bizarre. Doom 3 itself, though, plays pretty great on the system, shotgun notwithstanding. I'm kidding, Doom 3's shotgun is fine if you know how to use it. The lighting looks fantastic on the platform. The fact that you can actually interact with the computers in the game is still cool to me to this day. And the game overall is just really well designed. I paid less than $10 for a physical copy with the manual, but you can get it on the Xbox 360 Marketplace as well, even if all you get it for is the turkey punching. Again, for the Xbox 360, and in another id Software title, we have Quake 4. Raven Software actually developed this game before they got sent to perpetually work on Call of Generic Battlefield Ops number 43. This, I feel, is another divisive title. I think some people don't like it because of how different it is, but I've always felt like Quake as a series has never known what it wants to be anyway. Each game is vastly different from the one that came before it, so this one being as different as it is just par for the course. And at least this one is a direct sequel to 2 instead of being its own thing that has no connection to any of the other ones. I do like Quake 4, and the Xbox 360 port, from what I've played of it so far, feels pretty great as well. I've heard that the frame rate can get pretty inconsistent, but I haven't seen that yet. This is another one that I paid less than $10 for with the manual, and it's also on Marketplace. The last Xbox 360 title in the pile, as well as the last id Software title in the pile, is Wolfenstein: The New Order. Machine Games developed this one. I have played this one before, but on PC, not on the Xbox 360. This is a beastly game on that system, coming in at 4 discs, and it must be installed onto your hard drive. Not only that, you have to do some disk swapping throughout as well. And my disk drive got loud when I was running this game. I was half afraid my system was going to melt or something. While I do thoroughly enjoy this game, I can't recommend this port of this game. Not only do you have the 4 discs to swap through for a game that isn't especially long, but the controls aren't great, the textures are muddy, and your disk drive will be in overdrive the whole time. If you're especially curious, or if you just want to have it for your shelf, again, this one was less than $10, even though the case came damaged. I'm kind of mad about that still. But I also don't think this ever made it to the Xbox 360 marketplace. At least I didn't see it when I was browsing. If you want a Wolfenstein game on the Xbox 360, get Wolfenstein 2009 instead. It runs much better on the hardware. That port is still not super expensive, and I'm planning on getting a copy myself soon. If you have a decent enough PC, you can get the New Order on GOG for $20, assuming it's not on sale. It's actually on sale for $5 at the time I'm recording this, but by the time you see it, it may or may not be on sale at all. The last game, or rather the last set of games, came in this beastly mini nuke. This is the Fallout Special Anthology. It's a mini nuke statue that makes a noise when you press this button. And inside are special cards with Steam codes for each game. I generally don't care for so-called physical copies of games that just have a Steam code inside, but I already own every Fallout game on GOG anyway, so I just gave away the Steam codes to members of my Discord server and the Retroactive Community Discord server. In this case, I just wanted it for the mini nuke anyway. It looks nice next to my Pip-Boy. This one, I'm afraid, was a limited edition thing, so you probably couldn't get one now, at least not new. But they did make these once before, so who knows? They may do another run of them sometime in the future, so keep an eye out. And there they are, my most recent game pickups. I have a few ideas for games I want to pick up soon in the future, but with prices the way they are, who knows? Anyway, let me know what your favorite game in the pile was in the comments down below, and then click on one of these things. Like the video if you liked it, dislike the video if you disliked it. Thanks for watching either way, and I will see you in the next one.